A terrorist could be crossing the border illegally tonight. It's happened here before. Intelligence agents are focused on that line between the U.S. and Mexico. They are watching the people from India coming into the valley across the Rio Grande. The Indians say they're coming here to escape persecution. We talked to political science professors across the country. They gave us a better picture of what's happening in India.
That's right, Oscar. If you take a look at the map, these are some of the major states in India. The current ruling party is the Congress Party. 80% of the people who live in India are Hindus. 12% are Muslims, and only 1% are Sikhs. Each group belongs to a different local and state political party. Political science professors tell us the groups have violent struggles with each other over their religious and also political differences.
Channel 5's Farah Fasal and photojournalist Mike Ortiz spent months tracking the Indians coming into the valley illegally. She's live tonight at the Harlingen bus station.
Oscar and Letty, this is where we met the Indians who are now free. They were detained, they made bond, and they were dropped off here. Our investigation led us from the bus depot to the border, where we found the Indians following the terrorist trail into the valley. Monday through Friday, just after the sun sets, this Harlingen bus station, somebody's coming to pick you up. You're here from China? Becomes the immigration drop-off depot.
Okay. No English. No English.
No English.
Yes.
We staked out the bus station for weeks. We tracked these white detention center vans. We saw a pattern. Ruling party ka naam kya hai? Most people getting out of the vans were Indians. This night we saw a group of 5, including a woman. 2 the night after. 2 the night after that. That's how we met Sandeep. He told us he's a political party worker from the province of Haryana, halfway between Delhi and Punjab. We found this YouTube video of a town in Haryana. A group called Video Volunteers took it. Many of the people here were burned alive. The rest fled. Border Patrol agents caught Rakesh Kumar coming into the country with a group of illegals from Central America. We talked to him at the Hidalgo County Jail. He was facing pornography charges for bringing porn on a memory card. Prosecutors dropped all charges against him. He's a Sikh from Punjab.
They believe that the Indian government does not want them there, and Indian government does not want to have them promote their religion.
Burhan Nomani represents illegals. He's an immigration lawyer in Houston. He says most of his clients are running from religious and political persecution. The majority are from the provinces of Punjab and Gujarat in India. We talked to professors from around the country who specialize in Indian studies. Some told us the persecution is happening in small rural towns. Others say the Indians are leaving for economic reasons, not because they are persecuted. 60% of Indians earn less than $1 a day.
You know, it's not too much work in India, too much population. That's why we are here. It's because we want a good life opportunity.
Rancher Elizabeth Burns talked to these Indians after they were caught passing through her place near Falfurrias in February. Nomani sees them after they end up at the detention center. He's represented more than 100.
I think the facility could hold about 3,000 people. They were holding about 2,000 at the time, and I guess 1,800 of them were from India about 4 or 5 months ago.
That's almost 100%.
That's close to 100%. So I have seen people with the broken arm. I have seen people with burn marks. I have seen people with cuts here and different places. I have actually seen videos, and I have seen my clients have brought me people who were just burned. They had put the gasoline on them and just burned them.
We asked Customs and Border Patrol to give us numbers of illegals detained from India in the last year. 730 Indians crossed illegally during a 6-month period between October and April of 2010. 1,100 came during the same period this year. That's almost a 50% increase. A CBP spokesman wouldn't tell us how the Indians are getting here. The Indians did. Sandeep says a hotel manager hooked him up in Guatemala. Rakesh says a Guatemalan taxi driver told him how to find a smuggler. They say they got their visas at the New Delhi airport in India. They flew to Guatemala and smugglers walked them from Mexico into the United States.
बहुत मुश्किल से पता नहीं कैसे कैसे आया कैसे बताऊं आपको इतनी गाड़ी के अंदर 30 बंदे थे.
Sandeep's family friend came from New Jersey to pick him up. Others wait for a ride.
We go and pick them up.
This businessman didn't want us to reveal his identity. We'll call him Josh. He picks Indians up from the bus depot almost every night. The Indians' lawyers or families call him. How many Indians have maybe come to stay with you?
Maybe other hotel and my place and then Harlingen, about 3-4 people every day. So in a week about 20,
He started seeing Indians at his hotel last June. He says he helps them book their trips out of the valley. Their immigration cases go with them.
How they come, it's not my business, but once they're here, they are legal to, to go. So of course I will help.
The Indians exposed an entry into the U.S., and it concerns lawmakers. They say radicals from terrorist countries are coming across the same way the Indians did. Here are the countries the government considers terrorist havens. One of them is Somalia. Mr. Dakhani, you have anything to say about your sentence?
Visit me in the detention.
FBI agents say Ahmed Mohammed Dakhani is an al-Qaeda operative from Somalia. He came into the U.S. through Brownsville to ask for asylum. Prosecutors were able to convince a federal judge to lock him up for 10 years for lying on his asylum application. Agents say Dakhani admitted to smuggling at least 7 high-level al-Qaeda terrorists into the U.S.
After 9/11, that's always been a concern of ours, that they're going to use that as a route to get into the United States. It's harder for them to get in by airplane into the U.S., and so to exploit it by land, I think, is a real possibility.
Congressman Michael McCall says people like Dakhani are already in the U.S. McCall sits on the Homeland Security Committee. How vulnerable is our border to those people who are from those special interest countries?
Well, the number of apprehensions of special interest aliens actually went up 37% last year. So that's a pretty alarming statistic. And we know that groups like Hezbollah has a very heavy presence in Latin America. And we have caught several operatives crossing into the United States.
We asked McCall for specific information on who the Hezbollah operatives were and how they were caught crossing into the U.S. A spokesman told us the information was law enforcement sensitive and couldn't be made public. Sources deep undercover in Mexico tell Channel 5 News Hezbollah operates safe houses all along the border. Hezbollah operatives are becoming part of the Shia Muslim communities on the Mexican side.
But I can guarantee you that there's a lot of people that have been smuggled. We have no idea who they are, where they are.
Professor Jeffrey Adicott is the director of the Terrorism Law Center at St. Mary's University in San Antonio. He says the terrorists who got into the U.S. are living among us, hiding in plain sight, next door, down the street.
But we haven't had a 9/11 event that's traced back to somebody coming across the southern border. Tragically, that's probably what it's going to take in order for us to secure the border.
Rakesh insists he's not a terrorist. Burhan Nomani says the government believes terrorists could easily walk among the legitimate asylum seekers.
There could be a lot of people from Afghanistan or a different part of Pakistan who could just come in as a Sikh or claim that they are Sikh, but they are actually not Sikhs. And they could be some terrorists, some kind of Al-Qaeda or Taliban group.
Some will be caught. Some will slip through the fences, the brush, the revolving door of the bus depot. We may never hear from them again until they create chaos. The vast majority of Indians are not terrorists. It's important that you know that. Federal agents check the backgrounds and the connections of every detained person before they're allowed to post bond and walk away. Reporting live tonight in Harlingen, Farah Fazal, Channel 5 News at 10.
Well, we've seen several reports of terrorists who've crossed into the U.S. in the last few years.
Farah, do we know how many terrorists are here?
Oscar, that's a really good question. We asked the FBI that question, and they wouldn't tell us. We've identified several of them, including one who came through the valley just 7 years ago. I'll tell you about her and the others tonight on Channel 5 News at 10:30. Letty and Oscar.